All right. Good evening, everyone. Still got a lot of people signing on. This is going to be an exciting night. I'm really excited to get to introduce our two speakers for tonight. These are two of my probably favorite people in the entire world. Had an opportunity to work with both of these people for a long time. One of them going on 20 years now, and one of them who's going to start the meeting. You guys are going to be really excited to hear from. This is someone who is an extraordinary human being, and I've had a chance to work with him now for several years. He's just accomplished in everything that he takes on. Former NFL star, Hall of Famer, former NFL network anchor, very successful businessman owning over 40 companies, philanthropist, community activist supporting underserved communities across the country. And now what he's doing, as I'm sure most of you guys have already heard, he's taken on the charge of educating families and providing opportunity in the financial literacy space. He's patient, committed to making the world a better place, and everyone who meets him is a better person because of it. He's a mentor and coach to so many, and you guys are about to hear about one of the best business opportunities, and even more so now as we're going through these fun and exciting times. We have the opportunity for you guys to hear about what we're doing. So for our first speaker, Marshall, are you on? Marshall, are you there?
There we go. I just got on.
Okay, we got Marshall Faulk.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this call. It means a lot to us. I know we have some crazy times going on right now, but we're finding ways to bring value to people whom understand that something needs to be done, value needs to be brought, and we understand how to serve people within each and every community. We feel that financial services is a need that's needed, and World Financial Group finds a way to bring it to each and every individual on every level in life. It doesn't matter what financial background you have, what financial background you are in. We find a way to bring it to you. And tonight you're going to get a chance to hear from myself and another gentleman that I'm near and dear to, who I look up to. And I will introduce him later. But right now, let me introduce our company to you and take you through why I feel that this company and what we do is something that each and every individual should be exposed to. Can I get the first slide? Here at World Financial Group, the one thing that we really focus on, it's all about families. And what we want to make sure is that at World Financial Group, you are building a better future for you and your family. At World Financial Group, you actually get a chance to work with your family. So you get to build for your family and you get to work with your family all together. This company attracted me because of that one thing. I understood as a professional football player, I could never work with my family unless they were as talented as me in the football field. And usually that doesn't happen. Every once in a while that's the case, but usually it doesn't happen. At World Financial Group, it can happen. It does happen. It is happening. And here's the thing. Consider these questions. Do you know someone who can benefit from this message? As you hear myself and the gentleman that's going to speak to you later, Dan Charlier, think about that. Can this information help you, your family, and your friends financially? Think about it. Think about it. And if this business intrigues you, if it does, let us know, because I know it intrigued me. That's why I'm here on this call right now talking to you, because I know that it intrigued me as football intrigued me. So you see that Ram head right there. The Rams, oh man, that logo, as it once was, it is no more, is of the past. And if you you saw the new logo that came out, it stirred up a lot of stuff in the world. But But right now, we're finding ways to just allow the past to be the past, and we're going to try to break in something new with the new logo. But as times change, and you move on, and new things are introduced to you, as we are introducing to you this business, the financial world, things come around, and when those new things come around, they change. Next slide. And when they change, you have to change. What about World Financial Group? Who are we? What are we? World Financial Group, we're part of this little group called Aegon. And Aegon, what they do is they provide life insurance and pension and assets and products in over 20 countries. But who works here in America? It's a company called Transamerica. And you've heard of Transamerica and what they do. Transamerica is one of the 10 largest providers of variable annuities, individual universal life, and individual term life insurance here in America. $14.8 billion dollars is what they capitalize of as of April of 2016. That's the kind of volume of what we do. So think about it. Aegon, Transamerica, World Financial Group. That's who we are in business with. They are the parent companies of World Financial Group. If you want to get with a company, first thing you want to make sure is, just like if you decide you want to marry someone, make sure that they have strong lineage. You want to look down the line and say, man, their parents are strong. They have a good foundation, and we come from a good foundation. Next slide. These are the products that we use. When you think about what's on our platform, and you'll hear us talk about the platform, and you'll hear us mention the things that we do, the types of products. On the right, fixed annuities, life insurance, index universal life insurance, and long-term care. Whose products are we using? We use the best of the best. No second rate here. If it has AA, AAA, it belongs to us. We want to affiliate with it. It is on our platform, Transamerica Life, Nationwide, Pacific Life, Warrior, Everest. We are bringing you the best of the best. We're not captive. We are a broker, and we want to make sure that you, if you're our client, you have the best. That if you are a business partner, you are presenting to your clients the best products that we have. That's the type of business we have. Next slide. What do? You hear about Cornerstones. In the financial industry, you have to have them. Let's talk about protection. What do you want to protect? You want to protect yourself. You as a person, you as an asset, protect yourself. Make sure that you as a person is protected. So if anything ever happens to you, the people that you care about, your loved ones, they are taken care of. Make sure your trust is okay. Make sure that your will is in place. Make sure all the things that you have accumulated is left to the people, for the people that you love the most. Now, safety. Let's talk about safety. That means all the things that you've grown, all the things that you've taken care of, make sure that they're in a safe place, that you can't lose them. Make sure that they're taken care of. Make sure that you can grow them in a safe place to where you don't lose them. That's what we talk about in safety. We have the products for you to put them in so you don't have to take risks to grow them. That's growth with safety. You can do that with us. And the next thing is tax advantage. We want to make sure that you are taking advantage of the right type of products so that you're not paying taxes on the growth that you have. Anybody can grow stuff, but can you grow it with the smartness and the right products to take advantage of the tax breaks that you're supposed to be taking advantage of? And what do we all want? We all want growth. We all want growth. And that's what we make sure. We make sure you grow, but we make sure you have smart growth. We make sure you have calculated growth. And some of the growth that we have, we make sure that you grow. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that you're protected. You want to make sure that you have growth. You want to make sure that you're not paying a lot of taxes, and you want to make sure that you're protected with the safety as you grow. So next slide. Now, let's talk about compound interest. Some of you may have heard the rule of 72. I know I had not. I'm telling you, this wasn't taught to me. I mean, I'm a business marketing major, and I had not heard of this at all. I went to college, did very well in college, pretty good in my high school class. I graduated #2, and rule of 72. Hey, it escaped me. And if you're sitting at home and you're watching this chart, and you're like, it escaped you, you're not alone. Don't feel bad. You are not alone. So let's just talk about this. This is how your money. This is how your money. This is interest. This is how your money compound interest. Okay. This is what the banks don't tell you. This is literally what credit card companies do to us. This is how credit card companies make money off of us. Now we're going to show you how to use that very same technique to make money for you. All right, here we go. Now let's just take a $10,000 investment, all right, for a 29-year-old person. Now, if they gave you 1% of interest, all right, so the rule of 72 says every 72 years times interest, time the percent of interest is how long it would take your money to grow. So if it's interest 1% times 72, if you're 29, that's 101, 10,000, 20,000. You might not get to see that. That 101, somebody gonna enjoy that $10,000. And with inflation, they might not enjoy that 10,000. So at 4%, that's every 18 years. So let's see, that's 10,000, that's 20,000, at 47, that's 40,000, at 65. All right, that at 65, you got 40,000. That might cover like 2 hospital visits at 65. Let's think about 6%. All right, this might do something. That's 12 years. Okay, that's every 12 years. So that's 29, that's 41, that's 53. So at 65, that's retirement right there. You got 80,000. Yeah, that might get you probably like 2 months in a vacation rental down in Florida. There you go. That's your retirement. Or we could talk about, let's get you 10%. That's what we're talking about getting you. If we get you 10%, now 10% is where we're at. You see what it gets you at 29, but let's just go to 50 and 65. 65, that's a pretty good. How about 72? 640. Now that's the kind of interest every 7.2 years. These are the type of returns we are talking about. If you are going to invest your money, you want compound interest to work for you. You need that interest rate to be up at 10%. You're not hearing that from the banks. That's what we're talking about. We're here to teach you and show you that we have the type of products that's going to get you that. Next slide. And once we get you those interest rates, we got to give you some options for your money. We got to give you some options on where to put those monies, how to invest those monies, and what else to do. And let's talk about those options. How you would like to grow those money. You want it in something fixed? You want it in something variable? You want it in something index? You've heard of fixed. Fixed is your mortgage. When you hear something fixed, you think about mortgage. When you get that 2.5, that mortgage, yeah, you want it fixed. You want 2.5. You want it for 30 years, just going down the line, right? And then when you hear variable, you think about, oh yeah, variable. That's up and down in the market, up and down in the market. And that's kind of scary though. That's kind of scary. If you're looking at the market now, I think today we're up. We're fine. We're good being up today. That's no problem. But, whoo, boy, if you're down when it's time to take it out, that could hurt. Now, where do we play? We play an index. Now, just look at the lot. Follow the lot. Follow the lot. Look at the red and follow the lot. The gray, that's the variable. We're playing in the same market. We're playing in the same field. As the market goes up, the red goes up, The gray goes down. You see where the lock, you lock in, you go straight across. The index don't go down. And then you see where the market go back up, we go back up. As the downturn happen, you see that lock, it locks in, it goes straight across. And soon as it goes back up, guess what it does? That you go up again, lock it in, and the minute it starts to go down, you flatline straight across. No loss. Index. You didn't even know about that. You're not supposed to know about that. They didn't teach you about that. They don't want you to know about that. But that's what we're here to teach you. We are here to show you what that means. We want you to play in the index. We want to teach you why the index is important to each and every one of you and why that's the place you should and could be growing your money. Next slide. Now, how you want to get your money taxed? If we were in a room together and I could hear each and every one of you, I'd ask you, what do you want to be taxed now? You want to be taxed later? Or you want to have a tax advantage? What do you want to do, huh? You want to put your money in a savings account? Huh? You want to use CDs? You want to use 401ks, savings bonds? Or you want to be in a Roth IRA, Roth IRAs? Or you want to have the cash accumulation? You already know. Tax now? Oh boy. You already know what that does. If you're making money, you get taxed now and you're in a high tax bracket, boy, you getting hurt. And tax later, you know, with them 401ks, you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea. That 401k, when you take it, anything taxed later, it's a mystery. It's like, what's behind door number 3? You don't know what's behind door number 3. You don't know how much taxes they're gonna take. But tax advantage means you are in control. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that you are in control. That's what you want to do. Next slide. Now, how do you get all that done? How do we do all of that? How do we make all of that happen? What we do is we sit down with you and we do what's called a financial needs analysis. Now, when I got drafted back in 1994, I sat down with a financial advisor and I did a financial needs analysis. I didn't know at the time this what it was, but now that I'm in the business and all of these questions that I ask people, I was asked, and we do short-term, mid-term, and long-term planning. They charge me about $7,500 to do this. We do this for free. We ask you about your cash flow. We want to make sure if you're earning any additional income, are you managing your expenses? We want to make sure if you have an emergency fund, are you sitting at home right now biting your fingernails, wondering like, man, I don't know. I hope we get back to work. I hope this coronavirus just go away real quick. I hope Trump send me that $1,000 check. Are you prepared for this? We teach you how to manage your debt. We teach you how to consolidate it. We want to eliminate your debt. We show you different programs. We help you get the proper protection. We help you make sure that you're protected against loss of income. We help you protect your family assets. We show you how to build wealth. We show you the things that you can be doing to outpace inflation, how to reduce your taxes. We sit you down with professionals on how to manage your money. We help and show you how to reduce your taxes. We show you how to build your family legacy and how to maintain that legacy. Those are all the things that we do. We show you how to become independent, how to own a business, how to create a business, and how to be independent on your own, how to manage your own assets. We show you that. We teach you that. We make you financially literate. That's what we are here to do. We are here to provide you an opportunity. That's what we are here to do. So that's my time with you guys. And I want you to know that it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on here. Next, you have a guy that, man, you want to talk about a wealth of knowledge. This guy has been 20 years in the business. Oh man, you want Marines, color guard, carried the flag for the president, SEVC in our company. This guy has done so much stuff in this business, and he continues to build people, but at the same time, he cares that we have value. He cares that you have value, and he wants people to succeed. And each and every one of you, I hope that you learn something from him, because each time that I hear from him, I learn from him. Please welcome on this call tonight, Mr. Dan Charlier. Dan, take it away.
You guys see me? Can you guys see me? All right. First of all, great job, Marshall. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be in business with you. And, you know, as you were talking, I was thinking about the time that me, you, and Hannah met at the Grand Havana Room. And I want to tell you guys, Marshall Faulk, when I first met Marshall, we had a really great conversation. And Marshall made some great financial decisions while he was playing football, became financially independent, owned over 40 different businesses. And when Marshall was looking at this platform, we talked about, and I remember asking him a question. I said, Marshall, I said, let me ask you a question. How many people do you know that look at you and they look up to you and they say, man, I wish I could be like you. I can't play football like you, but I wish I had the business mindset that you have. And they ask you for coaching and they ask you for advice. And I remember Marshall telling me, he says, man, I get that question asked all the time. People ask me for business advice and I'm able to give them business advice. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Can they afford to buy the businesses that you've bought? And he said, absolutely not. I said, well, what about if you had an opportunity where you can provide leadership and you could provide people with a platform and a business where they can build their business and our company will take care of all the back office support. And he looked at our platform of what I'm getting ready to share with you. He was blown away with that. Matter of fact, he was so excited. He was so excited. He said, Charlier, he said, hey, if I can get 25, 30 of my friends at my house, will you and Hannah come down to San Diego and do a meeting at my house? I said, absolutely. So he set up a business presentation meeting like this at his house. He had a full buffet, maids, everyone there. And he had the chairs set up in his living room for like 25 people. And he was so fired up. He had just got started. He was already, he said, Charlie, I'll do the first part of the business presentation meeting. I was like, man, this guy just got his code number, not even licensed yet. And he was up talking and he was just so excited about the opportunity. And when we were done with the business presentation meeting, some of his friends came up to me and they were like, okay, Charlier, so what do we need to do to get started here? Do we need to write a check for $1 million, $2 million, 100,000, 200,000? What does it cost? And I started laughing. That was his market. These are the people that he's used to being in business with. I said, look, it only takes $100 to get started here. And they were blown away. They said, what? All the information you just gave us, it just takes $100 to get started here? I said, yeah, but you got to build your own business. And a couple months later, Marshall opened up his own office in San Diego, just like a brand new recruit, just opened up his own office because he wanted to build an agency. And here we are now. We're doing a meeting together. So I'm really excited for you, Marshall. And one of the things I want you to take from that story is this. I want you to write this down, right? Get a pen. You're going to take a lot of notes, and I want you to write this down. Successful people make decisions quickly. Successful people make decisions quickly, and they're very slow to change them. Unsuccessful people take a long time to make a decision. They take a long time to make a decision, and even after making that decision, they second guess themselves with doubt, and they change their minds very frequently, right? So there's 3 questions that should be answered for you tonight, right? Question number 1, is this a credible company? And Marshall did a great job going over our parent company, Aegon. Aegon's a $543 billion company. That's with a B. They bought Transamerica in 2001. They wrote a check for $11 billion, $9 billion cash, $2 billion in stock, and bought Transamerica cash. Transamerica and Aegon owns World Financial Group. Now, why is that important? It was important to me in 1998 when I first looked at this opportunity. I got started on a part-time basis. In 1999, I walked away from a 13-year military career and came full-time. And I've been doing this now for 22 years. I haven't done anything else the last 22 years. So one of the things that was important to me when I was making that life-changing decision, there's certain decisions that you're gonna make that are gonna be life-changing decisions. They're gonna totally change the legacy of your family. And I remember when my mentor, Mr. Ed Mallette, when he sat down with me, he said, "Hey, Charlier, this is your shot at the big time." And at the time, I didn't know what that meant at the time. I thought I was already big time. See, I was in the Marine Corps for 13 years. I was a Marine Corps drone instructor. If you see my picture up there to the left, I was a Marine Corps drone instructor down on Paris Island, trained over 7 platoons. Pretty great drone instructor. From there, the Marine Corps had a competition for the Color Sergeant of the Marine Corps, which means that you work directly with the President and the Commandant of the Marine Corps. They pulled up all their Marines on the East Coast and the West Coast, and we competed. I came out #1, and I became the Color Sergeant Marine Corps, 23rd Color Sergeant Marine Corps. I did that for 2 years. I was in front of all the magazines. That's Leatherneck magazine right there. And in 1995, the Commandant of the Marine Corps and the President asked me to take over the Marine Corps Silent Drill Team, which was the #1 drill team in the world. That's us doing a show there for Notre Dame. Notre Dame was playing the Navy, and we went and did a special show for them to teach them how to tighten up their discipline with their football team. And I had a great time, you guys. But my original job in the military was aircraft rescue. That's me on the top right there fighting a pit fire for those firefighters out there. And man, I thought I was on top of my game. I was 33 years old. I was making about $3,000 a month. And I got stationed at El Toro, Santa Ana, California. And at 33, 2 kids, married. And I thought to myself, I found myself in a very, very, very tight position where I was working 70 to 80 hours a week and sometimes more. 70 to 80 hours a week. And every week and every month, I found myself in this one position. There was more bills coming in than money coming in. So I found myself in a position where I was broke and I was living payday to payday. And I thought to myself, here I am, I'm working really hard, I'm competing, I'm challenging myself, I'm personally improving, I'm doing all the things to be great, right? And I was at what I was doing, but at the end of the day, I was still broke, living payday to payday. And I was frustrated. I want you to think about what I'm about to tell you. See, there's a point in your life where you get tired of being tired. Now I want you to think about that. You're already tired, but you're tired of being tired. That was the point that I was in. I was 33 years old. See, we're talking about the dream a little bit tonight, right? But you know what's equally as important about with the dream? What's equally important is you realizing what you no longer want. And at 33, I realized what I no longer wanted. I was tired of being broke. I was tired of struggling. I was tired of not being able to pay my bills on time. And just the amenities. I'm not talking about driving a nice car, living in a nice neighborhood, going to grade school. I'm just talking about just getting by. You know, I read a report the other day from the IRS. The IRS put out a publication. They said 93% of the population makes less than $100,000 a year. 50% of that 93% makes less than $28,000 a year. And man, I was frustrated. And at that time, I met a guy by the name of Ed Mallette to an introduction. And this guy was 29 years old. He was making $50,000 a month. I had never met someone making $50,000 a month. And I remember saying to him, hey man, can you show me how to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month? He said, Charlie, I can show you how to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month. I said, I'm not looking at getting out the military. I'm going to do my 20 years in the military because I was only 7 years away at the time, 8 years away from my retirement. I said, but if you could show me how to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and that was the extent of my vision at the time. And I said to him, I'll come in business with you part-time, but I'm not getting out the military. And he asked me a question. He said, Charlier, why do you want to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month? Why? And I said to him, you know, my mom is still working 16, 17-hour days in New York City and Brooklyn. I grew up with a single mom in Brooklyn. And if I can make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month, what that means to me, I could take the financial pressure off my mom. At the time, the most that I could send my mom as a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps on a monthly basis was $200 a month. She was getting it straight out of my check. She was getting a government check for $200 a month. And in 1999, when I decided to get out the Marine Corps, I remember my mom said, baby, you sure you want to get out the Marine Corps? You got a good job. You know, you got everything going for you. It's tough out here. And I said, Mom, I'm going to do it. And she said, but let me ask you a question. Am I still going to get that $200 a month? I said, Mom, trust me, you're going to get a lot more. I retired my mom my first year in the business in 1999 was one of my goals. Out of everything I've done the last 22 years, that is the most gratifying thing that I was able to do, is take the financial pressure off my mom. And I think about the times that we have right now, the conditions that we have right now. And my mom hasn't had to work since 1999, which is awesome. So here's why I share this with you. I share this with you because whoever invited you tonight, right? Whoever invited you tonight did you a favor. This is your shot at the big time. I want you to be clear on this, right? So there's excuses that we give ourselves. Well, Charlier, how do I know this is not one of these things? How do I know this is not one of these scams, one of these multi-levels, one of these pyramid deals? Here's the deal. See, successful people, when they look at information, they look at factual information. Aegon's a $543 billion company. Transamerica is a huge company. World Financial Group is owned by Aegon and Transamerica. Those parent companies that Marshall showed you, companies like Pacific Life, Nationwide, Transamerica, and all the other product providers do we have. Do you think for 1 second they would be affiliated with our firm if we weren't legit? See, one of the things I want you to know, our business is legit. The question for you tonight is that, are you legit, right? Are you too legit to quit? Just thought about that. It's pretty cool, right? So second thing you should have looked at tonight is this. What is it that we do? Marshall did a great job going over our crusade of what we do for the consumer across the kitchen table, right? With educating families. See, the financial service industry is a $63 trillion industry. It's the number one industry. Challenge with the industry, it's a very biased industry. You just heard Marshall. Say that when he got drafted, he got a financial needs analysis done. You know why he got a financial needs analysis done when he got drafted? Because he had money. They charged him $7,500 to do that financial needs analysis. Let me ask you a question. Why did they call him the year before he got drafted? You know why they didn't call him the year before he got drafted? Guess what? Because he didn't have any money. He wasn't drafted in the NBA, in the NFL. See, the financial service industry looks at it like this. If you don't have, right? If you don't have a couple of $1,000s to sit down with an advisor, then you probably don't have any money to save and invest, and they don't want to sit down with you. So what we did is this. We brought a new idea to an old industry, and the goal is to revolutionize that industry. So we're bringing investment-based products, financial education to the underserved, to the 80% of the population, the middle class, right? So if you're sitting on Zoom right now, eating some Cheetos, sitting on your couch, casually watching this, and you're thinking to yourself, man, would they sit down with someone like me? I'm making $35,000 a year. I'm broke, living payday to payday, where I was in 1998, right? We sit down with everyone. If you're sitting there, you're worth a couple of $1 million, you're in a mansion in Beverly Hills somewhere, right? And you're going, man, would they sit down with me, like me, right now? Well, guess what? we'll sit down with you too, right? So I want you to think about this. How would you like to be in a position, right, where not only you're making a difference in families' lives, you're making a difference in the community, but you're fixing an indifference. See, right now, with these times that we have right now, you know why I love our company? Because we could still educate families and show them how money works. We could also give them an opportunity where they can go make part-time income, or if not full-time income. So I'm going to jump right into it. If we go to the first slide, right? I'm fired up. Hope you guys are fired up. A unique business platform. See, there's no financial service experience necessary. If you look at myself, I was a firefighter before I got started here. I got started part-time. I didn't have to have a degree in finances, right? Marshall didn't have to have a degree in finances. He had no background. Marshall was a football player and I was a Marine, right? You know what we both have in common? We have a huge desire to do something great, to give back, to do something to impact other people's lives, which is great. Test drive the opportunity part-time. So if you're sitting here, you're going right now, Dan, I lost my job. Hopefully soon I'll get my job back, but I want to do something part-time. Well, guess what? That's where I was in 1998. I wasn't looking at leaving the Marine Corps. I lived on base. I got medical, dental. I got paid on the 1st and the 15th, right? My job was on base. The PX was on base. The commissary was on base. Childcare was on base. So I was in a comfort zone, right? But I wasn't making enough money where I could retire my mom, where I could take the financial pressure off my mom. So I got started on part-time basis. You know what it cost me to get started? $100 and a clean background. So you can't have a felony in your background. If you got a felony in your background, this is a very regulated industry. There's some licensing involved, which I'm going to talk about that. There's no time clock, which means what? You could work from home without the virus, right? Which is pretty cool. We don't have a 9-to-5. We're 1099. We're independent contractors. There's unlimited earning potential. I remember the first time my mentor said this to me. He says, Charlier, you don't have to believe this, but I just want you to imagine this. What if you could turn your annual income into a monthly one? If you could turn your annual income into a monthly one, what would life look like? And I remember thinking at the time, I'm making $35,000 a year. I remember thinking to myself, man, what would it look like if I made $35,000 a month, which was a huge number for me back then. I remember thinking to myself, man, who makes $35,000 a month? And my mentor said, hey, you want to make 35 grand a month, Charlie? Hey, you need two things. One, you need an opportunity that allows you to do it. Two, you need someone that's done it, that has a vested interest in your success to help you do it. And for some reason, guess what? You found me, Charlier. You got those two things. Now, the only other thing I'm going to ask you, do you have a burning desire to change that dream into a reality, right? And in 1999, I declined my re-enlistment in the Marine Corps. I went full-time and I got after it. Man, it's been a great ride. Still a great ride. Leadership development and mentoring business model. See, if you were to take inventory right now, right? And I asked you, I said, who are the 5 people that you allow to influence you? Who are the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with? Are those people challenging you? Are those people making more money than you? Are those people pretty competitive? Or are they idled in life? And I remember when my mentor asked me that, at the time, I'm in the Marine Corps. I got my buddies that I'm in the Marine Corps with. And guess what we all have in common? We're all broke. We're all living payday. We're all struggling. See, and at that time, here's the deal at that time. I wasn't really happy, but I wasn't really unhappy. I was caught in this minutiae, right? And I didn't think it was bad. I remember saying things like, well, at least I got a roof over my head. At least I got some food in my fridge. See, and I realized that my standard was so low that it became a normal thing. And one of the things that happened when I shift my associations and I started spending time with my mentor, And I remember my buddies in the Marine Corps used to make fun of me. Oh, Charlie, yeah, you're doing one of those multi-level things. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're part of a scam. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to be the rich guy and all those things. As I was growing, as I started reading books, as I started improving myself, as I started listening to these kind of conversations, here's what became clear to me. As I was spending time with my mentor, what became clear to me was very clear. My life sucked, period, right? But it made me uncomfortable. See, in these times right now, if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, Tony Robbins says one thing. He says, see, when people are winning, they're making money, they got money saved, everything's going great in their life, they party, they have a good time, right? But when things get tight, like for most people, things are getting tight right now. You know what people do when things get tight? They start to ponder. They start to go, man, maybe I should have looked at that opportunity. Maybe I should have gave it a shot. Maybe I should have went all in. Maybe it was my shot at the big time, but I was too comfortable. See, champions have the ability to seek a position where they become uncomfortable. That's the only way you're going to grow. And I had a mentor that was challenging me at that time, was challenging me that go for it, Charlie. This is your shot at the big time. Burn the bridge. Get yourself uncomfortable. Get out the military. Go for it. And all my buddies in the military was telling me I was crazy to get out. And guess what? I was telling them, y'all crazy to stay in. Well, what I know. Well, fast forward 22 years later, they're retiring with 30 years in the military. Now, I want you to think about this. If I would have spent 30 years, which I was on track to do, I would have retired 3 years ago. You know what my max pay would have been if you Google right now? You Google E9 enlisted. 30 years, you know what my max pay would have been? $7,500 a month. And you know what my retirement would have been? 40% of that $7,500 would have been my retirement, which is a check for $3,000 a month for the rest of my life. So I walked away from a pension of about $700,000 a year. If I would have invested 7 more years of my life, I would have got a pension of about $700,000, right? My mentor said to me, he said, Charlie, you're going to stay locked in another 7 years for $700 grand. Do you not realize that this opportunity can pay you millions and millions and millions of dollars? Are you kidding me? Don't sell yourself short like that. And at 33, I took that leap of faith. I took a leap of faith. And I said, man, I'm going for it. And 22 years later, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars later, I think to myself, man, that was my shot at the big time. Strength on your side. We talked about that, right? The power of choice, business expansion. We've got people we have over 1,000 people listening to this business presentation from all over the world, right? From New York, you name it, New York, Texas, from all 50 states, including Canada and Puerto Rico. We have a system here, right? Where you don't have to knock on doors. You don't have to do cold calls. You don't have to send out flyers. You don't have to buy leads. We have equal opportunity for all, a diversified field force, growing the underserved market. See, it doesn't matter whether you're white, you're black, you're tall, you're short, you're fat, you're skinny, you're a woman, you're a man. Guess what? The playing field here is even, which is awesome. You want to make millions of dollars here? You can. You want to be broke here? You can too. You do nothing, you get nothing. I love entrepreneurship. This is awesome, right? Financial needs analysis, affiliated company, world-class recognitions. We got the big stages, the awards. You know, 2 years ago, I got a chance to recognize my mom over on stage, and there were 50,000 people in attendance. I got a chance to thank her for her sacrifices that she made, right? And she was so excited. She had to talk to the team. Over 50,000 people. My mother's always been scared of public speaking, but she got so fired up and she was so grateful. She has so much gratitude in her heart. She wanted to tell people how real this opportunity was, right? Technology and business tools, right? We've got all of that stuff in place. Our back office has all of that. So let's go to comp real quick. Hope you guys are fired up. Now, this is compensation. Man, when I saw this, you guys, I can't tell you how fired up I got when I saw this. This is an associate. You're brand new. We've got a licensing process, right? There's a state exam. I call it a quiz because it's 60% to pass, which means that if you're accustomed to getting a D, you can get your life license. State requires you to do a 52-hour course. You could do it online. You go take the state exam, you've got your license, right? You could do that if you're motivated like me, you could do that within 3 to 4 days. You can get that done and get your license. If you're an associate here, this is based on a 40-year-old male that's saving $185 a month. And we have a training program where we could teach you more 1 hour in the field and 10 hours in the classroom. You go out and associate, you help 4 families a month. That's 4 families a month. We'll pay you close to $4,000 a month, close to $48,000 a year of 1099 income. Now you might say to me, Charlier, that's not that big of a deal. Well, let's stop and think about it for a second. I was doing a Zoom presentation for a young gentleman about a week ago. He's a mechanical engineer. He's married, 2 kids. He works 70 hours a week. You know what he brings home? He brings home $110,000 a year, about $7,500 a month net income. And I said to him, I said, are you being paid what you're worth? He said, well, what do you mean? I'm making a 6-figure income. I said, well, you're working 70 hours a week times 4. That's 280 hours divided by 7,500. What comes up when you divide that by 7,500? He said, $40. I said, so you get paid, your time is worth $40 an hour right now. I said, let me ask you a question. With your education, with everything you've done, is that the value of your time? He said, absolutely not. I said, well, let me ask you a question. What is your strategy? What is your game plan to raise your earning power? He said, I don't have one. I said, well, this is why this opportunity makes sense. Because if you're an associate and you're helping 4 families, the average family we spent 2 hours worth of work with, right? 4 times 2 is 8. 8 divided by 4,000 is $500 an hour. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Now, some of you might say, well, Dan, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time. The reason that you don't have time is because you don't have earning power. See, you got to buy back your time. The only way you're going to buy back your time is you got to increase your earning power. Some people say, well, Dan, I'm not that passionate about life insurance. Well, let me ask you a question. Are you passionate about helping people? He says, yeah, I'm passionate about helping people. You like to make a difference in people's lives? Yeah, I like to make a difference in people's life. Do you want to make a difference in your life? Are you passionate about making more money? See, when I left the military to do this full time, what I saw was this was a leadership development company. It's a leadership development company. Now, we have promotion guidelines. You can go from associate to senior marketing director, right? Which is your brokerage, which now you're building an agency. When I first saw that, I said, well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I can be promoted based on my merits? Oh my God, I've never heard of that. See, in the military, you had so much stuff that you had to do, especially going to the staff ranks. There was so much politics involved in getting promoted. I said, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I could get promoted based on my merits? I said, cool. I got that done my first 90 days, right? But I was motivated. I was motivated to get it done. I was excited about the possibility of making a 6-figure income. Did that my first 10 months. Then I got excited about making a 7-figure income. Got that done, right? Pretty cool. You become a broker, you're on a bigger contract. But guess what? You go out yourself with no team. You go help 4 families a month. We'll pay you $7,000 a month, $85,000 a year, 1099 income, which you would need to make close to $110,000 in order to net $85,000 if you had a job. Now, I want you to think about a 6-figure income, right? You know, right now, if you live in San Francisco, you make a 6-figure income, you qualify for assistant housing, right? A 6-figure income, we call that WFG poverty. If you're in WFG, you make the 6 figures, you got your championship ring, your blue ring, right? That's WFG poverty. You just got started, right? Now, what about if you want to build a team, right? What does team stands for? Together, everyone achieves more. Or if you don't like people, together, everyone annoys me more. Hopefully you like people. You like making a difference in people's lives, right? You build a team, right? Here's the deal. You got 4 people in your organization. They go out and they help 4 families a month because you train that team, right? You're empowering people. See, there's something that says, hey, if you help enough people get what they want, you will automatically get what you want. People ask me all the time, Charlie, the last 22 years, what's the biggest investment you've done? Market's down right now. People want to jump in the market and buy low and sell high and do all that stuff and buy real estate and all of this stuff. Let me be clear. You want to know the number one thing? My number one investment the last 22 years that's made me more money than anything. My number one investment that's given me more fulfillment and gratitude, right, is changing people's lives. See, if you can help enough people get what they want, you can get what you want. See, when I pull up to the restaurant, I'm on the date night with my wife, and I pull up to the restaurant. Valet pulls up. Oh my God, nice car. Oh my, what do you do? Let me ask you a question. I can talk to the valet. Let me ask you a question. If I could show you how to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month part-time, what would that do for your family? So I could give that young man or that young woman an opportunity, right? So now you got 4 people on your team that you trained, right? They're on your team. You're gone to Hawaii. We just came back from Hawaii last month before all of this. Our company took 600 couples to Hawaii. 600 couples to Hawaii, right? Just came back from Hawaii. Say you went to Hawaii with us, but your team helped 4 families a month. We'll pay you $15,000 that month, $186,000 a year. That's called team-made millionaire. You want to be self-made millionaire or team-made millionaire? See, everyone is self-made, but only the successful people claim it, right? Now, you're a senior marketing director. You go out and help 4 families a month. Your team goes out and help 4 families a month. We'll pay you $22,000 a month, $271,000 a year. I want you to do a Google search tonight. And I want you to go, hey, what do I need to earn to be in the top 2% of earners in the US? And I want you to look at that number. You now have an opportunity and a leadership to help you get to that top 2%. So you don't have to be waiting on a government check for $1,000. You can be financially independent and debt-free, which is pretty cool. Go up to the next slide. Right? Now, you heard multiple streams of income. Personal income when you're out helping families yourself, agency income when you build a business, expansion income if you choose to open up multiple offices, bonus income. Yeah, we participate in 4 different bonuses on a monthly basis. Reoccurring income, where we deal with investment-based products, insurance and investments, where you now have residual income. Now, if you're a broker with us and you have all your licenses, an average broker, if you're just average, you'll make $69,000. If you're a player, you'll make about $350,000. If you're broker and you have your advisory license, your securities in your life, average broker in that arena makes $87,000 a year. If you're a player, you make up to 1.6. If you're an executive marketing director, which means that you promoted other brokers, you've got some great leadership skills, you're great with people, you're great at empowering people, right? Giving them a platform, giving them opportunity, they become brokers. You're playing average in that arena, $220,000 a year, all the way up to 1.3. If you're a CEO with us, which I call CEO, Chief Encouraging Officer, build a great organization. An average CEO is making $450,000 a year, 2.3. You become a chairman with us. The average chairman is making $1 million all the way up to 14 million. That number has gone up. See, what you just done is there's a see, one of the things that has to happen right now, as you listen to me, there has to be a paradigm shift. See, when I want you to study paradigms. See, every now and then a new idea comes to an old industry and revolutionize that industry. And every now and then a real business opportunity comes in front of you, just like it came in front of me in '98. I had multiple business opportunities come in front of me. I was no. And I was skeptical. I was this, I was that. And I got to a point where I got tired of being tired. And I said, Charlie, what do you have to lose? It's $100 to get started. What do you have to lose? You got access to a multi-millionaire that's making $50,000 a month that's willing to invest in you, that's giving you a real business opportunity to change your life. And it was almost as God said, hey, I hear you. I'm going to put it right in front of you. Can you get out of your way? Man, I'm so grateful that my mentor didn't give up on me. And when I told him I wasn't interested, and he said to me, he started laughing at me. And I'm thinking about myself back then. I'm broke. I'm living payday to payday. I'm struggling. I'm praying every night. Oh my God, all this stuff. And all of a sudden this opportunity comes in front of me. And you know what I say? Making $3,000 a month, broke, living payday to payday. I'm not interested. And he says, Charlie, what is it that you're not interested in? Are you not interested in helping people? Are you not interested in making more money? Or is it that you're afraid that you can't do this? He said, be honest with me. I said, well, I don't know anything about this industry. I don't know anything about business. He says, look, I get it. He said, but here's the deal. I will personally help you. I'm going to help you do this. Because if you win, I win. And I took a leap of faith and I went after it. It was one of the best decisions that I've made that totally changed the legacy of and there's tons and tons and tons of people on our team, which I can go in and tell you their stories, right? Pull up the next slide. Give you an example. This is our team, right? See, Aegon Transamerica allows you to build your own company within a company. Our company name is Synergy Financial. We're in all 50 states. See, our field advisory board. You've got Jay and Ronnie Gauthier. Jay and Ronnie were 21 years old when I met them. Ronnie was a student. She was studying to become a psychologist, and Jay was studying to become a firefighter. They quit their job, went full-time. They have their own office now. They've got a huge team with Team Tenacity, and they're making over $500,000 a year with us. Pretty cool stuff. And they just turned 30. They just got started with us, right? You got Paul and Miriam Ireton. Paul and Miriam Ireton, I knew Paul and Miriam when they were 22 years old. Now they're 7-figure earners with us. Miriam was Miss Philippines. Paul was in the mortgage business, humble background. Now he's in business with his brother Nate and Precious. Nate and Precious making over $500,000 a year with us. They've got a beautiful office in the Pasadena area. Then you have Christopher and Michelle Schleiman. They worked for AT&T, right? They were executives with AT&T making a 6-figure income. They walked away from it 20 years ago. They've got a passive cash flow. Imagine this, passive cash flow over $50,000 a month. Then you got Louise Haig, right? Louise Haig started with me in the business 22 years ago, built a great company. She's in business with her son and her daughter, Steve Haig, right? We've got so many great leaders. We got so many great leaders. We got Tita Lazan. Tita Lazan was a nurse. She was a nurse for over 39 years, you guys, worked 2 shifts at the hospital. And she thought to herself, man, can I really do this? I'm in my late 50s. She walked away from the hospital, retired from the hospital, came full time. Now she's a CEO and she runs one of the biggest organizations here. See, we are good people doing great things in the community. And here's what we're looking for, you guys. We're looking for good people. See, there's a crusade right now. There are families hurting right now. There's families that are thinking they're home. See, what happens in these times force you to stop and think. They force you to stop and think about what's really important. You know what's really important right now? I think in a weird way, this is a God's blessing, and God wants us to go, you know what? I want you for a month, for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, to appreciate your time. How many of you actually appreciate your time? Are you so used to being on a treadmill that you're not taking this time to go, man, what if I could just stay home like this and be with my family, cuddle my wife, play with my kids? My kids are downstairs with my wife right now playing Monopoly. You know, I haven't played Monopoly since in the 80s. See, life has a way of keeping us on this treadmill where we're rushing, right? What if you were financially independent, debt-free, and you didn't have to leave your house? You could do everything online. You can come and go as you please, right? Maybe this is giving you a glimpse of what it would be like if you had your time. See, I'm fortunate the last 22 years, I've been able to have my time. When was the last time you did your travel vacation? When was the last time you went on vacation with your family? I'm talking about a dream vacation, right? We travel 5-6 times a year. All these leaders on there, we got people from all over the world, you know, traveling 5, 6, 7 times a year. See, this is an opportunity for you where 1, it's a credible company. 2, there's a viable crusade. 3, there's an unbelievable income potential here, right? And we're looking for great people, right? Now, in closing, I'm going to bring back Leah. She's going to, if you're listening to this for the first time, she's going to walk you through the interview process. We do an interview process. The person that invited you will invite you to their private Zoom where you could do an interview. On the interview, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions, and we'll have an opportunity to ask you questions. And I want to leave you with one note, right? Successful people make decisions quickly, and they're very slow to change them. Some of us allow the wrong people to influence you. I remember I did a meeting like this, and this guy was fired up and excited. And he came to meet with me. He was coming to meet with me the next day. He didn't show up. I called him. I said, hey, where you at? I'm at the office. He said, man, after hearing you talk last night, I was so excited. But I talked to my brother. And my brother told me, man, it's probably one of those things. I said, you talk to your brother? Are you kidding me? I said, what does your brother do? He said, well, my brother's unemployed. I said to him, why would you take advice from someone that's not winning in their life? And he came in, got started with us. He said, you're absolutely right. I don't know what I was thinking. He came in, got started with us. Here's what you saw tonight, you guys. You saw good people doing great things, and we're looking for good people that want to do great things. Thank you, guys, and I want to turn you guys back over to Leah.
Hi,
Leah, are you on?
Yes, hello. Hi, you guys. How's everyone doing tonight? You guys got to hear about the credibility of our company, about the power of our opportunity from 2 individuals. I can't even imagine 2 more qualified people for you to hear from this evening. So I'm sure you guys got tons of value from that. So we will be setting up appointments in the next 24 to 48 hours. If you're interested in booking an interview for our business opportunity, get with the person who invited you to this event. They obviously thought highly enough of you to invite you tonight. As well as if you're interested in a complimentary financial needs analysis, we'll also be running those appointments in the next 24 to 48 hours, or maybe you're someone who's interested in both. So thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. We look forward to meeting with you on a one-on-one basis in the next couple days, and have a wonderful evening. Good night, you guys.
That.